Hey everybody, it's Arvi again. In one of my previous videos, I have shown you the way how you would disable the new Outlook from reinstalling. In short, new Outlook is still trash when it comes to being a functional app. It cannot handle POP3 and Exchange or Office 365 accounts, yet no matter how many times you uninstall it in the casual way, new Outlook is pushy enough to download itself back on your PC like how some malware would do against your will, all the while chugging on your internet quota which you might happen to buy using your own money. And it is not well integrated with especially Windows 10. But I digress. Let's take a moment and look at today's date. It's 4th January 2025. I'm still using Windows 10 using a regedit tweak. I guess I'm chronically stuck in the past because I want this thing called functionality over cosmetics. Anyways, according to virtually every information source on the internet, Windows Mail, Calendar, and People apps should be defunct and unusable by 31st December 2024. But let me show you my inbox inside the classic Windows Mail UWP app. I can't help myself but admire the way how Mail adheres to the dark mode settings and remains easy on the eyes overall. Take that, Thunderbird. I guess being in sync with the system appearance is too fancy for you, and is that why you need an extension to do this? Now believe it or not, these are all messages from today. Sometimes I need some shot of manual syncing from the button above, and I really wish to have a way to get rid of this dismiss or try the new Outlook prompt that is appearing every time I open up the Mail or Calendar apps. This might not seem like a big deal, but it actually kind of holds the Mail app from communicating with the mail servers right away. So I have to dismiss the warning in hopes of at least receiving a notification. So hopefully the Mail apps still do refresh. So let the tests begin. First up, I'm mailing my Gmail account using an alternate Gmail account to see if that mail will be displayed on this inbox. So here goes my mail address, and there goes some gibberish that's in the sent items now. And would you look at that? So let's type a reply for that real quick. Thankfully, we have an indication that it is this app sending this message, and that is the Sent from Mail for Windows hyperlink. And it works. So it is apparent that our humble mail client is not in some Wayback Machine-esque limbo mode that is limited to be just felt or be seen. This is functional. And to prove that further, let's head on to the most wanted functionality, which is the Exchange mail support. So both of my university email accounts from ICBT are created using Microsoft Exchange. So if I were to use a new Outlook, I will be pushed out of luck. So right now there is no new emails from my campus because my campus doesn't have newsletters or advertisers or services to litter my inboxes with. And I kinda like the experience of a clean inbox. Blah blah blah, here goes my mail. And the message hath received due consideration. Let us frame an answer. So there you have it. A weird conversation between an Exchange account and a Google account. To top this up a notch, let's emulate a mundane conversation between one of my campus email accounts and the other, which are both Exchange accounts. So there is no problem with the core functionality. You can send, receive, and view emails just as well as it used to be. But I think the catch is that I'm using Windows 10, and I guess it's the integrity of this app with the operating system that is still holding this app together. Except for some reason it doesn't display notifications that often in the Action Center come notification area. However, I guess the core functionality is what matters the most. And another thing that made me fall in love with this app is its super small memory footprint and low CPU usage. Metaphorically speaking, I think this app can run even if the whole world topples over. Unlike Thunderbird that topples itself over at launch, oscillating between responsive and non-responsive states. But who knows, using Thunderbird as a backup app, being adapted to it might be helpful if all else fails. I'm sorry for shitting on Thunderbird, I'm too much of a newbie to it. And I apologize if I happen to waste your time with no such knowledge on what steps Microsoft is actually attempting to take behind the curtains to seize this masterpiece someday somehow. But for the time being, it appears to be working, and I'm a bit unsure as to whether this is a glitch or not. As a matter of fact, Windows 10 is now the king of stability. Hilariously enough, it sometimes even forget that the currently active window must stay at the freaking top. Speaking of stability, my SoundFont had received some complaints regarding whatever abomination this is. This was one of my stupid decisions to just slap in a cartoon sound effect kit near the main GSSFX kit. The routine of me adding a drum or sound effect kit to my SoundFont is as follows. Firstly, I assemble the drum kit in bank 128, then duplicate it for bank 127, change a bit that comes left to the bass drum, and duplicating the first kit once again for bank 126, following the fashion of Corium and Aspirin SoundFonts. Until now, the location of my cartoon effect kit was in preset number 62, which corresponds to Synth Brass 1, a melodic preset from GM1 bank number 0. From the upcoming version of the SoundFont, I will have it moved to preset number 125, corresponding to the helicopter sound effect from GM1 and one note jam from MT32 map, which is not provided in ColomboGM2, gotta change that name, due to XG drum mappings. And with another SoundFont presumably designed for GS with no such experimental bells and whistles loaded, I still wondered, why is this MIDI file calling for an empty preset from bank number 126, and why it has to be a synth brass tone? Does Metallica ever use keyboards? And why is there no bass, even in GM1 mode? Luckily, I've got a copy of Sound Canvas VA and that can tell me why. In the embedded text, the MIDI file says that it is sequenced for Roland SCB55, which is apparently an early sound module with Roland MT32 emulation, like SC55 and or SC55 Mark II. Playing the MIDI file on SCVA set to SC55 map mode, I found the bass preset and a funk guitar preset from bank 126 and another electric guitar from bank 127. The electric guitar was obviously a part of the MT32 map, and that day I learned that bank 126 was used to accommodate CM64's melodic patches. CM64 was another Roland linear arithmetic / PCM sound module that predates Roland SC55 and the introduction of GM1 standard, and it has got just 64 melodic patches. I scoured my collection of sound fonts looking for inclusions of this new set of 64 instruments, and I found none. Even Jex's Phoenix GSGM2 misses that on bank number 126, but the MT32 emulation patches from bank 127. If I were to include these on my main SoundFont, then I'm too late because I have already dedicated bank 126 and 127 for XG compatibility, or in layman's terms, drums. So I have no solution other than building a separate SoundFont to contain these and the MT32 patches and be more compatible with the very roots of the MIDI standards. Even though the actual GS standard might not mention any usage of bank 126 and 127, these presets were there in early Roland sound banks to maintain compatibility with old MIDI soundtracks. So these MIDI files are still out there. It can either be a game clip or, what I see as the worst case, a karaoke track. Nobody wants to be annoyed by out-of-place sound effects while they are singing. That's enough going on and on with this, I know you get the idea. So I made another SoundFont. It's a duplicate of ColomboGM2 of course, but I've scrapped out everything related to XG and some funny shenanigans I've added from time to time. It's nearly 20 megabytes smaller than my main SoundFont, and it will going to be live on my Gumroad page. It will be open for free download, but as I've put a high effort on assembling and maintaining my creations, I kindly invite you to consider making a voluntary contribution to support my ongoing work. And as always, my email and my YouTube channel is open for your thoughts and suggestions. And with that being said, I guess it's time to wrap up to this video. Wish you all a great day ahead. It's 3314 signing off.